How much do you think my Auto Trader bill is as a used car dealer with 100 cars in stock? Got my Auto Trader bill here, let me show you. Right, so I'm currently sat in my new podcast room. I've not actually used it yet. I call it a podcast room, but it's kind of a room for me to just sit in with a camera set up, with lighting set up, so I can just sit in, have a chat with you lot about certain subjects. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about, I suppose, setting up a car dealership. There's certain aspects and elements with setting up a car dealership, and in this video, I'm going to be going over the main 4 things, which are a physical site where you store your cars, an online site, obviously where you upload your cars to, marketing and general advertising costs, which is why I've got my Auto Trader bills there on the desk, which we'll talk about shortly, and finally stock, and more importantly funding stock. Another massive expense in the car trade that we also talk about later on in this video is VAT, so make sure you stick around for that. Let's get on with it. Yeah, so my new little podcast room, I keep calling it the podcast room. I will probably be inviting guests down, but that's kind of not really the motive. The motive is just to, like I said, just to sit down and have these types of conversations on YouTube, not just YouTube, social media in general, just to have a space for me to just come away from my office, come away from Binker and just sit down and talk on the internet. So currently it's very bare, there's still quite a lot to do, a bit more lighting to be done. I want to get another camera, there's a lot left to do. Since filming this video, we've actually made quite a lot of improvements, like main lighting, background lighting, a few plants, the YouTube plaque on the wall, and as a feature in the center of the wall here, a hashtag on it light. So you can definitely expect to see more of this style of sit down conversation with Calvin. But I thought for this particular video, I keep getting asked certain questions about the car trade, and I thought this is probably the perfect place to sit down and film this particular video. So on my desk, I've got various things. I've got a spare battery. Got a spare battery in case we run out of battery, which is likely to happen. We've got a pen and a bit of paper, just in case we want to make some notes, make it all look pro. And behind me here, I've got some lights, some colourful lighting. I've got little, just various colour options as well, just to set the mood. It's not really doing loads, is it? A bit pointless, to be honest with you, but it's all very much in theme. We'll leave it as Binker Blue, yeah? So we've also got a bottle of water, because I'm going to need that, but pretty much drank it all already. The car trade, very complex business. I say complex, very straightforward in the sense that you buy, you sell, and you have a margin in the middle, right? But as you sort of grow and you get more established, there's a lot more to it than just buying and selling cars. In fact, when you start out, it's quite fun. And I think what we need to talk about in this video as well is a method that you can do where you can test the car trade and pay 0 tax. We need to talk about that as well in this video. So your physical site, obviously when you start out, that can consist of anything as little as your driveway, or as big as I suppose what we've got here, or even bigger. Our site caters for probably about 150 cars. So we've got plenty of room here, but it's a massive cost. The thing with cars is it costs you a lot of money to store one car. Don't matter where you park it, where it is, it costs money for that square footage, whether it be, you know, depending on where it is in the world, will depend on how valuable that piece of land is. Now, my friend who's just down the road in Leighton Buzzard, he's got a lorry yard, and he rents out a single lorry space for £27 plus VAT a day, right? So over the course of a month, it's about 750 quid a month just for one lorry space. So you can see how the cost of storing cars is expensive. Now, if you look at different business categories, generally most businesses fall under either an investment business or a service business, is that right? There are various others, but they're your main 2 businesses. If you're a plumber, you're a service, you offer a service. If you're a trader of some kind, like a watch trader, a house trader, like buying and selling houses, or a car trader, well, you're mainly an investment type of business. And when you're that type of business and you've got overheads draining it each month, the investment ain't selling, it ain't moving, well, it's going to be difficult for you to pay those bills. Whereas with a service-based business, you just get more business. I say you just get like it's easy. But more business will pay the bills, and generally you'll have a bank balance where you can pay those bills. But with trading, if you get offered a deal today, you've got to buy it. Now the downfall of cars is it's expensive. It's bloody expensive to store these cars. If you're a watch trader, like that watch there, I've talked about this watch many times over the years. I've had this watch probably, I don't know, about 8 years, paid about 1,400 quid for it ages ago. But if you're a watch trader, to store that, you know, you don't need a unit much bigger than the size of this room. But obviously you need prominence, so you might want to be somewhere, say in Hatton Garden or somewhere posh in London, because you want to be in front of people. But a physical site does cost a lot of money. Generally in the Milton Keynes area and sort of Bedfordshire, Milton Keynes sort of area, it works out to about £100,000 per acre per year. So that'll give you an idea the cost of a site. But if you're just starting out, you just want to keep it simple, keep it cheap. preferably working on farmyards. That's pretty much what I'd done the whole time up until we took on this site. But I suppose our business grew to a point where we couldn't keep doing that. But you want to try and keep that storage costs down as best as you can. If you're in somewhere like London, I get that's difficult. I suppose the motive for doing this video is for people that are starting out with the car trade, because I get a lot of messages saying, I want to get involved in the car trade, I don't know what to do. One thing I would always say is just try to keep your overheads down as best as you can. It's so important. Like, you don't want to be overspending anywhere, and overheads do kill the business. If you're not selling no cars, well, you can't afford to pay your overheads. But if you've got loads of overheads, well, you need to sell cars, and sometimes cars take quite a while to sell, especially when you're starting out and you've only got 2 or 3 cars, say, in stock. Well, you can't really afford to commit. You can't take that risk. You can, but it just puts you under more pressure. So keeping your storage site down to a minimum is so important. Let's get on to the next step of the video, which is your website. Now, websites are very much available nowadays. There's various places you can go to get your website. Again, if you're just starting out in the trade, you don't necessarily need to have your own website. It's not an absolute must. I would obviously recommend my own platform, which is enterreg.com. On Enterreg, you can sign up for as little as, I think the lowest package to get a website is about £79 a month. But for £99 a month, you can get a website, you can get buy cars of private sellers. We've gone into quite a competitive price because it is a competitive market, but you can get pretty much set up with a stock management system, a website and all that sort of stuff for £99 a month. So that's quite a low cost overhead in the car trade, which is a rare thing in the car trade, all right? So that sorts out the website front. Marketing. Should we talk about marketing? Let's leave that bit for the later on in the video. Stock. So funding stock is the most challenging part of the car trade, because when you start out, obviously on the assumption that you've got no money, well, how can you buy stock when you've got no money? When we started, me and my brother Leon, when we started trading however many years ago, 10, 15 years ago, we'd buy the odd car ourselves with our own small amount of money that we had, but we didn't have hardly any money, so that it wasn't an option to fully stock our site with our own money. So borrowing money from the banks isn't really an option until you've got a couple of years worth of accounts. So that weren't an option for us whatsoever. But what you can do is do sale returns. I talk about sale returns a lot in videos. You can do vehicle sourcing. You can offer to source cars for people, do sale returns. You can go approach dealers and say, well, look, if you've got a customer that wants a certain type of car, let me go and find that car for your customer and I'll charge you a fee for finding it. There are ways you can do trading without funding a stock, but it is always better to just fund the stock yourself if you can. Maybe borrowing money for a family member if you've got that available to you. I wouldn't always recommend borrowing money for a new starter business, I suppose, but if you're confident in your business plan, then it's definitely worth considering borrowing money. The way we started out is, and we're still doing it now, we just work with our own money. We just buy, sell, take a bit out the middle and keep building up stock over the years. It is quite difficult because if you go back to being a service-based business, with a service-based business, you just earn money and you pay your bills and you get to keep a bit and spend it on whatever you want to spend it on yourself, take your missus out for a meal or whatever. But with trading of any kind, because your mindset is adapted to investment, well, why would you want to spend money on treating yourself? Like I say all the time, I don't even have my own car. The reason why I don't have my own car is because my money's better off in stock. I'd rather buy a bit of stock, sell it, and have the chance of earning a profit rather than running around in a bit of stock just to give it large on social media. I had my, I say give it large on social media. I love having my own car. My last own car was my M5, but that was a £60,000 car. To have all of that money tied up in that one car is just stupid, really. I suppose in hindsight, I should have just got finance on it and kept hold of it, and then, yeah. But then that goes back to the borrowing money thing. It is good to borrow money and it's fine to do it. You just got to be sure that you can afford the overheads going forward. Obviously, the more stock you've got, well, the more money you're going to earn. It's as simple as that. So if you can borrow money at a decent rate, then it's definitely worthwhile. As you grow, there are options to apply for stock funding facilities. Again, it's something that I've never done personally, but it's something that a lot of traders do, and I think it's worthwhile exploring them options. But if you're a start-out trader, you ain't gonna be thinking about that anytime soon, but it is definitely something that you should be considering later on in time. I think the priority is getting established, getting the ball rolling, buying some stock, and just doing a few deals, yeah? Now if we go back to marketing, so you've got your site, brilliant. You've got your website, great. At this point, no one can see any of your stock. Like, it can go on, you can text people your domain name, maybe put your domain name in your Instagram bio and stuff like that. But really, you want to be advertising in the right places. Now, the obvious places to go to are places like Auto Trader, eBay, Motors are good as well. Gumtree and Facebook Marketplace are all pretty much the dominant market leaders with advertising used cars, but it's expensive, yeah? Now, eBay, I'm not sure off the top of my head how much my eBay package is, but it does consist of, it's called the EMG group, eBay Motors Group, which is eBay, Motors, Gumtree and Facebook. They all come together as a package. I'm not sure exactly how much it is a month, but I'll put it on the screen now. Now, the reason why I don't know how much it is because it ain't a crazy amount of money. And for what you get for the money, it's really good value. We do sell a lot of cars on those platforms, but nowhere near as much in comparison as what we do on Auto Trader. eBay is actually the second most common lead generator for our business. I say that, but social media is probably up there as well. But the dominant traffic, I suppose, for our website comes from definitely social media, one, but outside of social media, Auto Trader. Auto Trader is bloody good, but it does come at a cost. Now, I don't know, probably clickbaited this video, must have put the Auto Trader bill in the thumbnail. Guess I did, because it is crazy. It's a lot of money. You ready for this? Drum roll. My monthly Auto Trader bill, yeah, is, there it is, £12,046.91, including VAT, yeah? That is a massive, massive overhead. It's crazy. But do you know what? I've been with Auto Trader for, how many years have I advertised with Auto Trader? Probably since I started, well over 10 years. Been with them for well over 10 years. They do a brilliant job. Their features and functionality that they offer is unbelievable. There's nothing like it out there. They are like the originals. I remember back in fact, I've got their original magazines here somewhere. Have I got their original magazines? Here we go, look at that. Look at that. That'll bring back some memories. It's a bit sun-dyed because it's been in a shop window for a few years. That's the 8th to the 14th of July, 1993, that magazine come out. And I used to buy these back in the day. I say I used to buy them, my dad probably used to buy them, and I used to nick them and have a little read through, but that was 70 pence back then. Obviously before the internet, that was the way that cars were marketed. They used to literally send a photographer around your house with a camera, take photos of your car, you'd pay them, probably cash as well. They'd then go back to the editors, put it all in the magazine, and they'd get your car advertised. Sometimes traders would have sold their cars by the time they've even been printed in the magazine, but that was just the nature of how it all worked. But the point being, anyway, this is how serious Auto Trader are. They've been going for all these years, even all the sections, saloons, bargain cars, sports cars, agriculture cars, classic cars. I should do a whole video talking about the prices of old cars. They've got old Transits in there, an old long wheelbase Transit, H-Reg, which would have been, what, 3 years old at that time, £5,750. But they are good, and I must admit, when I started out trading, I used to think, God, I really wish I could do without this. And I know some traders do go without Auto Trader, but when you're established like we are, you literally can't go without it. We've got staff, we've got overheads, you know, it's crazy. We're a full-blown business now. For us to even consider not having opportunities to market our vehicles, it would be stupid. So yeah, it's a massive, massive overhead, but in my opinion, it's worth every penny. So, but I do think that will probably come as a bit of a shock to some people. When you're starting out, I think you can get a little package for as little as maybe £1,000. Our package there consists of, does it actually say how many cars? We've got a VRS bill there as well. Mechanics bills, there's all sorts to talk about. Here we go, if you look on the back of that. Yeah, up to 99 cars, there you go. So we can advertise at any one time up to 99 cars. And the way it works is you don't get a limit of 99 cars per package. If you sell a car, so we've got 99 cars advertised and we sell one, well, we can just upload another one. We get 99 spaces in total on their website. And it shows you the value of advertising. I don't know how many views Auto Trader get daily on their website, but it must be crazy. Like, the traffic that we get to our website is unbelievable. So yeah, they do a really good job. Even their website, the functionality, I go on there a lot. Like, I spend probably just as much on Auto Trader, as much time on Auto Trader on my phone as I do like on Instagram, for example. I love going on there, scrolling through and having a little browse. So, by the way, this video is not, I'm talking really highly of Auto Trader. This ain't sponsored by Auto Trader. I suppose they're just, they're a massive part of the car trade. So they're very much included within my day-to-day life. Now, the final point of the video is, I say the final point, there is actually quite a bit more to talk about, which we will get onto shortly, but VAT is the final main point, all right? And VAT is an absolute bummer in the car trade. Honestly, when I first learned that it exists and I understood about it, I thought, is this for real? So I can't charge my customers VAT, but I'm going to get charged VAT. And the simple reason for it existing is because there is no VAT on used cars. So you as the private consumer, you don't pay no VAT. But us as traders, well, because the VAT man misses out on you not paying VAT, he's got to get it somewhere. So he takes a bit off of us. So it's fair enough. You know, we've all got to pay our way, got to pay tax, got to pay VAT. There is levels of tax as well. You've got corporation tax, you've got VAT, you've got employer's tax if you're an employer, and then you've got employees tax as well. And then if you're a director, you've got dividend tax as well. But that is, yeah, we won't go into too far into the tax side of things. But VAT, it is a bit of a bummer. To give you an example, if you buy a car for £1,000, you sell it for £2,000, you've made £1,000 profit, which is nice, but you get a VAT bill on that sale of £166.66, all right? So you pay that at the end of every quarter, and that's basically it. There is no way around it. There's nothing you can do. The more you sell, the more VAT you have to pay. And then after that, you obviously have to pay like income tax and various other taxes as well. It's just a tax on every single deal that you do, and consumers don't actually see that. It's annoying, but it's just part of the car trade. Battery's about to go dead. Let's stick a new battery in.
A few moments later.
Job done. What is strange is if you buy a car, say for £2,000, sell it for £1,000, there you don't get to claim anything back. You can't say, oh, I've just lost money on a car, so can I claim back what I lost on the previous deal? And you literally can't do that. So can I not claim back what I lost? You know, I've just given you VAT, but it doesn't work like that, unfortunately. So a little bit annoying, but I must admit, once you get into the swing of it, it's absolutely fine. You get used to it. So, but on the plus side, you do get to claim VAT on various bills. So if you get a bill, say from VRS, who are a VAT registered company, it's in your benefit really to use a VAT registered company. They give you a bill plus VAT. You can then claim the VAT back. So you get a little, I say bonus, it's value added tax. So it's added and then take it from whatever. Look at it positively, it's fine. So then finally I was gonna say to you about the theory that you are able to buy and sell cars tax-free yourself, yeah? Everyone can do this, but I do want to put a disclaimer out there that I am not an accountant, I'm not a professional in this field, I'm a bloody car trader, all right? But I've had a quick look around online, I say but, and I've had a quick look around online and I cannot see any evidence that this is true. But it is so commonly known, okay? So basically the theory is that if you buy and sell a car and have no intentions of making a profit on that car, say you do it as a hobby, yeah? Same with property as well. If you're buying a property for yourself to live in and then you decide that you don't want that house and you want to move on and get something bigger or smaller or whatever, and you make a profit on that property, well, because your intentions weren't actually to make a profit, well, it's tax-free. That's how it works. And if you buy a car for yourself to drive around in and you buy it and you decide, you know, this ain't for me, it's too small, say it's a Vauxhall Corsa, a 3-door Vauxhall Corsa, and you drive around and you think, this ain't for me, you pay £1,000 for it, and you think, do you know what, I reckon I can sell this, and you sell it and you just try your luck at £2,000 and you make a little profit, well, there's nothing wrong with you doing that. You're not doing it as a business, you're doing it as a hobby, your intentions aren't necessarily to earn money. But if you do then get on a roll and decide, I'm going to start doing this and start earning money, it's at that point then you must register as yourself as a business. And if you turn over, I think, what is it 85 grand a year? I think it is 85, but there or thereabouts. If you turn over above that amount, then you need to register yourself as VAT registered and start paying VAT. But if you just want to experiment, which I think a lot of you do, you can just begin experimenting with buying and selling cars, all right? So that is pretty much it. I had a couple of points in my phone. Let's just have a look. Yeah, that's it. I just wanted to do a little sort of up close and personal conversation with you. If you've got any ideas, I thought I might do a Q&A as well, just because YouTube has now put this podcast area on the upload on our side. So when we upload a video now, you can upload a video or you can upload a podcast. So this will go up on my podcast section, although I wouldn't pass it as a podcast, but it is kind of like that sort of style of video. So yeah, I'm up for doing more. You know, I can just sit in here and talk as often as you want me to, all right? Also, what I want to remind you about is Sunday the 2nd of July is my car show CCD, the event 2023. I do it once a year, do a big event. This year is going to be bigger than last year because it's just grown year on year. I know a lot of you have already bought tickets. There's going to be a crazy amount of you there. But if you're watching this and you haven't yet bought yourself a ticket, I will link the ticket link in the description below as well, all right? Guys, thanks very much for watching. I hope you liked this video. If you did, do me a favour, hit like, hit subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.